The other night, Fujifilm announced two new cameras, the GFX 100S2 and the X-T50. These are both really interesting cameras from Fuji, and they were nice enough to invite me out to their New York City event to check out these two cameras in person the day they launched. So let's head into Manhattan and check out these two cameras. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming.
So, I just got back from the Fuji X Summit experience where I got to get my hands on the new X-T50 as well as the GFX 100S2 and the new lenses that they announced just the other day. It was really an awesome experience. They had models there to take photos of. It was on a rooftop in New York City where we could see a great view of the Empire State Building, and it was a lot of fun. The highlight for me was getting to talk to Richie from Fuji X Weekly. I love his recipes and I love what he's done for the Fuji community, and being able to talk to him and get to know him a little more personally was awesome. I also got to hear his thoughts on the X-T50 and his thoughts on how he goes about creating recipes and the new film simulations. You should definitely check out his site. He's an awesome resource for everything Fuji. Now let's talk about the two new cameras, starting with the X-T50. Now I do want to make sure to mention that this isn't a review of either of these cameras. I only had a handful of minutes with each camera. I didn't get to spend a ton of time with them. It was just getting my hands on it, and this is more of a first look. So this is just my first impressions and opinion on where the camera sits in the lineup and what I liked and disliked about the camera from the start. This isn't a full review. The X-T50 is basically a mini X-T5. It's got that same great 40 megapixel APS-C sensor. It's got IBIS. The real differences are it's smaller, the rear LCD screen isn't as good, the EVF isn't as good, it doesn't have as many cinema movie shooting modes, and the burst modes aren't as good. But you'll still get the same great 40 megapixel quality that you've expected from the X-T5, the X-H2, and all of other Fuji's cameras using that 40 megapixel sensor. You know you'll get great image quality with this 40 megapixel sensor, and I'm happy to see it in the X-T50. This camera felt really amazing in my hand. From the moment I picked it up, it just fit right. It was kind of similar in size to the X100V or X100Sii. It was a little shorter and it felt similar in weight. Obviously the lens size is going to be different, but even with the new 18 to 50 kit lens, it felt like it wasn't too much bigger than an X100Sii, and I think this would be a really great alternative to the X100Sii, or great for someone who's got an X100V or X100Sii and wants to experiment with interchangeable lenses on the Fuji system. Now I do think if you're a content creator or hybrid shooter, you should really look towards the XS20. I just put a whole video about why I think it's great for beginner content creators on my channel. I'll link it below for you to check out, but that camera is much more of a hybrid where the X-T50 is much more photo focused. Now talking about build quality, it also has this new film simulation dial. I really like that Fuji's doing this. I think film simulations are a huge draw to people coming into the Fuji ecosystem, and it's why a lot of people love Fuji, and for them to be able to push this and work Fujifilm simulations into their cameras more and develop it as a system is really awesome. I hope they continue to push Fujifilm simulations and grow that whole ecosystem and community. As I said, I talked a lot with Richie from Fuji X Weekly, and we could both really see the benefits of having that dial. It's going to take some time to get used to, and I think there's room for it to develop and grow into further cameras, but I really like what Fuji's doing with this dial, and I hope to see them grow this idea and work Fujifilm simulations further into their cameras in the future. Now for the GFX 100S2. I was really excited to play with this camera. I've never used a medium format camera, let alone held one, so it was really awesome to experience Fujifilm's GFX line for the first time. And the GFX 100S2 was a great camera to do it with. It's not as big as their flagship GFX 100 II. It's a little smaller, and I think the GFX 100S2 is the camera most people shooting a medium format should get. The GFX 100 II is going to be really good if you're taking it for sports because it's got slightly higher burst rates, and it'll be really good in studio where you're on a tripod and the weight doesn't get to you. The GFX 100S2 is going to be great for a little more travel, a little more street photography, where you're kind of on the go more, and the lighter weight is going to be more beneficial. The 100S2 felt really nice in the hand, the grip was really nice, but that's kind of all I can say about it. I shot some photos with it, the lenses seemed really cool, it seems like a really cool system, and I'm excited for Fuji to keep pushing this system forward. I really think that as the technology develops and the price comes down, medium format could be a really cool thing for photographers who shoot full frame or APS-C or micro four thirds to try out. It's a really unique experience, and I'm excited to shoot more with the GFX cameras in the future. The new lens they announced for the GFX system is also wild. It's a 500mm lens, which is basically unheard of for a medium format camera. It was really cool, and again, I love that Fuji is pushing medium format forward. This is a lens that wouldn't have existed if it wasn't for Fuji, and it's showing that you can kind of start using a GFX camera for faster stuff or wildlife or sports, and that wasn't the case before. It's going to be really interesting to see how Fuji grows their lens mount for the GFX system in the future. This event was an awesome opportunity. It was really awesome to be able to get a first look at these new cameras and experience the new technology firsthand. Obviously, I can't give a full review of these cameras, but getting a first look was really fun. It was also great to meet other creators and other photographers and people that I wouldn't have met otherwise. Events like this happen at camera stores all over the world, and I encourage you to go to your local camera store and check out the events they have going on. It's a great opportunity. For now, go out and create some content. Thanks for watching.